Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Adrenals Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be showcasing how to play Hull Down more effectively. Hull Down is a very simple playstyle, and the literal definition means that your hull is down. It's underneath a ridgeline, and all that's being shown is usually your turret. This is one of the most effective ways to increase your armor by an insane amount. Literally any heavies that have good turret armor and bad hull armor are going to greatly benefit from hiding your hull and only showing the turret. For example, the Concept 1B. The upper and lower plate are very easy penetrations for the majority of tier 10s, but hiding the hull and only showing that turret is going to make this tank nearly impervious. That is a similar recipe for the T110E5. The lower plate is quite poor, but the upper plate and turret are very solid, so if you work it on a ridgeline, it can be incredibly strong. And obviously the Americans aren't just the only tanks that can do this. If you make your way over to China, we have the WZ-111-5A. You only want to show the turret on this tank. If you make your way over to France, we got the AMX M454. Even mediums feature the hull down playstyle. Vehicles like the AMX-30B, the Pattons, even the STB-1. I would say that a good chunk, maybe even half of the tier 10s in the game can benefit from using their armor hull down. So, in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing how to do that even more effectively. I'm going to be mostly doing this in the Concept 1B. I feel like this is the easiest tank to showcase the playstyle and how it can greatly benefit your gameplay. So let's get into some replays. We're going to be taking a look at two very hull down maps. Starting off, we have Canyon. Now, Canyon is the most beneficial map to really any tank in the game that has gun depression and decent turret armor. The major reason is because you want to go down to Base B. Base B is just a giant hill, and if you work the hill correctly, you're impervious to a lot of opponents. So up against us we have two E50Ms, an STB, a Super Conqueror, and an ST1. Those are all really solid tanks. The vehicles I'm not too worried about are the Bosch Chatillon 25-ton AP and the Foch 155. So this game, I'm going to make my way to mid, and we're going to see what we can exactly hold. The 907 has spotted the enemy E50, which is good for us. E50s do not have the penetration, neither does the STB-1 to cut through my turret hull down. The problem is that the STB features 11 degrees of gun depression, meaning that it can actually get shells into my weak spots if it aims correctly. So that's something I'm going to have to keep an eye on. So we've bled a little bit of health, but we've already dealt 375 into that E50M. We're going to aim it on his turret cheeks again. We're going to keep this STB off. Okay, well, aiming on an E50 turret cheeks, boom! Another nice shell, dealing 672 damage. You can see how we have already blocked 1,090 in this tank, and there you go, another nice bounce from the STB, not being able to shoot our hull armor and only seeing the turret, and in return, we're now up to 1,000 damage dealt. Now you'll notice how I instantly left the right side of the hill, and the main reason is because I noticed that my teammate in the, WZ-132A killed himself, basically instantly. And the problem with that is I cannot hold the enemy heavies and all the vehicles off that are most likely going to push off to the other side. So for now, I'm going to sit here. This is one thing you always want to do in your hull down tanks. Never make yourself the center target. If you are, you want to make sure that you have cover supporting you. You'll notice that I always have people covering me. I've got the 57 Heavy as my platoon mate, I've got the T30, the TVP, and the 907 flexed over here as well. If I decided to sit on the other side, the only thing that would have been supporting me is that Progetto, and let's be real, a camping Progetto probably not going to be the most effective support. So as of right now, it's good to keep myself in line of sight with my teammates. We're going to get a nice snap into that E50M, dealing 1,700 damage, and we've blocked about the same at 1,798. So let's get a nice shot into the ST1, and now we're over 2,000 damage. Unfortunately, that E50M does get a shell into us, but that's fine. I'm willing to take a shot from that E50M to farm out this ST1. We're going to get another shell into the ST1. Bon, thank you very much. Just like that, we're just shy of 3,000 damage. You can see how working a ridgeline in this tank feels literally game-breaking, and it is. Any hull-down tank, an AMX M4, even a Kron, working this ridgeline is easily going to be able to change the tide to the battle compared to a tank, let's say, like an E100. So we get a nice shell into the enemy Bosch Chatillon 25-ton. Just like that, we're up to 3,600 damage. Now, that E50M in the back is a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I think he shoots us again at some point here. You can see him there poking, but there's really not much I can do to him, so as of now, we're just gonna keep trying to shoot the enemy. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, we are not able to get that shell out into the enemy E50M, but that works out anyway, because the STV overpokes by just a bit and is able to let me finish him off. We're up to 4,200 damage at this point, and we've blocked a very substantial 2,870. You can see, though, the moment I show my weak spots, either the side of my turret or my hull, the enemy has been able to cut through me. Thankfully, the Foch is not one of those players. I am technically in the range of a one-shot for this Foch, and looking at his gun design, you'll notice that it is not the double shot, but the single shot, so that's one thing I do have to be a little careful about. So we're going to try and track the Foch, which we're able to, and just like that, my teammate is able to finish him off. Okay, well, we're up to 5,400 damage and 2,870 blocked. You can see how I was able to use the hull down capabilities of this tank to very easily not only get massive chunks of damage out, but hold and get a crazy amount of block damage. 3k blocked in a Concept 1B is not something you normally see, but if you use it correctly, it can be absolutely monstrous. As you can see, we were able to get a steel wall, which means receive at least 11 hits and a minimum of 1,000 block potential. It's just a great way to really showcase the Concept's capabilities. So, first game, 5,443 dealt, 2,870 blocked. Let's break into the second game, another hull down map on Normandy. Okay, well, up against us we have an FE2 and 5B, Object 140, 62A, E4, Bosch Chatillon 25-ton AP, a Hori Type 2, and a Kampfpanzer 70. Now, this battle, I'm going to make my way towards B Hill. B Hill is a great way to use this tank's good mobility to get early game spots off, but as well shots if anybody's crossing. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. You're going to see me cut right through mid, and we'll see if we can do anything. Definitely the main targets I'm going to be keeping an eye on are the two straight players, as they're decent, and we got the E2 and 10 E4. So there is some deadly opponents we're going to have to keep an eye out for. But, at the same time, we shouldn't have to be too worried, because again, we're in a Concept 1B, and as long as we don't show our hull, there's really not much of a chance we're going to be shot. So, we got the enemy Kampfpanzer in mid, and yeah, this guy clearly is not the biggest threat, as I don't even know what he's doing. But, this is why I run calibrated shells. It gives us enough penetration to cut right through the Kampfpanzer. One big bit of advice I can give for a lot of hull-down tanks is you're going to greatly benefit from running calibrated shells. Hull-down vehicles aren't going to be using their DPM to push. They're going to be using their DPM and alpha and penetration to hold. So being able to penetrate your opponents like this KPZ over and over again, in my opinion, is much more beneficial than having that little bit more DPM, as we already are up to 1,380 damage. So this isn't looking good. Our Super Conk has played a bit more aggressive than he should have, and he's killed himself. In that time, that's, well, not good for our team. But you'll notice again, I am sitting hull down here. This position is completely hiding my upper plate and only showing my turret. We're going to aim at an HE shell on the side of that bat chat, and nice, we penetrate a nice 500 damage HE, and Gizmo's able to finish him off. Okay, well, we're going to aim it on the roof of this 2 and 10 E4. Loading heat just because I want to guarantee it pens. That thing is super troll to pen. At this point, we're up to 2,600 damage. We're going to aim it on the E4. Nice slap into its lower plate. Nice 475 max roll as well. Again, we are completely hull down here. This E4 cannot shoot our lower plate, and you can see that right here. We get a nice 640 bounce, and just like that, we're up to 3,500 damage. I'm going to get one more shell into this E4. I really didn't realize our team was falling apart this much. If they didn't fall apart this much, it actually could have been a decent game. It's really unfortunate that it had fallen apart so quickly. But, oh well, there's really not much I could have done in this situation. We're going to get a nice shell into that Hori and deal 4,800 damage at this point. We've blocked 1,260, and now we're going to see if we can get any more out. A bonk, nice shell into the 62A, dealing over 5,000 damage at this point. And let's see if we can get anything more else out. Turning my turn, and, unfortunate. I get tracked while trying to turn my turret, which means that our shell just lands a teeny bit short from where we wanted it to. But let's get one more shell into that E4, finishing him off. And just like that, we've dealt 5,600 damage, and we blocked 2,440. You can see how the Concept greatly benefits off of using it on a ridgeline. But Droodles, what about when you're not on maps like Normandy or Canyon that have perfect hull down positioning to work? What about maps like Middleburg Town or Himmelsdorf? well, I've got your back. As you can see, we are on Middleburg, and unfortunately my team is going down. I obviously wanted to go up the hill because I have an M6 show, me and the Concept, and I'm Platoon to the Kron. We're all in hull down heavies. It's actually weird why our team wanted to go down. But when your whole team goes one way, there's really not much you can do about it. What I'm going to do right now is try to make my way over to the one hull down spot on the entirety of Middleburg, which is right in front of me, this little berm. Hull down means, again, that all you're doing is hiding your hull armor. And this little pile of rubble in front of me is the perfect spot to do that. You can see that if we take a look at what the enemy ag sees, or really the rest of the enemy team, this is what they're looking at. And once again, that is completely hull down. None of my hull is exposed. You can see it's just completely hidden. Even from people poking over here, none of them can see my hull, where I can completely see them. This is how you play a Concept 1B. This is how you play a Kron or an ANX M4. You hide the hull, and you only showcase the turrets. Even if you're not using gun depression, as long as you're still using the turret, the tank is going to be incredibly strong, and you can see that right here. This is the exact same thing you can do on Himmelsdorf. You've got little rubble piles all over heavy side. You just put your tank up to those rubble piles, and you only show your turret, and you should be basically impervious. So just like that, we're up to 1900 damage already. A great example of how quickly the Concept can deal damage due to the fact that it has such a nice gun. We're going to aim it on the Ag. He has no chance of cutting through my turret, as you can see, so we've blocked 800 from his tank, and we're up to 2,400 damage. Okay, not too bad. Well, at this point, I have decided that the Ag's dead, so I don't really have anything I have to worry about at this point. I'm going to drive right on up and see if we can get some damage out. Got the 57 heavy, a bonk, thank you very much, and let's back up so that the 57 can't clip us. Concept does poke me. You can see, obviously, on flat ground, I'm going to be pinned every time, but again, I have teammates supporting me right here, so they can't poke me anyway. We got the 4005, we got the Yo, and my teammate in the Kron. So we get a nice finishing shell into the enemy T-57 heavy, and just like that, we're up to 3,022 damage. I'm going to aim it on the 183, there you go, nice 350 shot, and let's see if we can get one more shell into the 183, aiming, a bonk, there you go, 360 slap, and okay, well, I think I'm just going to try and finish off this 183 again, so, okay, Wargaming. You can imagine that shell got me quite frustrated when it happened, but it's not the end of the world, because don't worry, we're going to low roll 330. What is my RNG today? We rolled 350 on him, 330, and missed one of the easiest shots ever. The good news is that we're still able to finish him off, so it doesn't really matter, but wow, was that an irritating engagement. Either way, this was a great example to showcase how even on flat ground you can very easily hide your hull and only showcase your turret. There is a large portion of tier 10s, and especially heavies and mediums, that you can work these playstyles with. Now, I obviously wouldn't suggest to put a medium on Middleburg Town, but if you have to, that's possibly a spot that you could work. If I were to list a lot of hull down heavies right now, what do we have? The 60 TP, we got the Kron, I would be willing to say the Stritzvon K, AMX M4, 5A, probably the 113. Type 71, Super Conqueror, Chieftain Mark 6. I would say the IS-4's turret, VK-72, E5, Concept, VZ-55, FE2 and 5B, and E6 and M6 show, and possibly even the VK-90 because it does feature 10 degrees of gun depression over the sides. If you want to talk about mediums, there's a lot of those too. If we make our way over to mediums, we got the M48 Patton, the M60, I would say the Kampfpanzer, Object 907, T-22 medium if you use the turret armor. We got the STB-1, and that's probably about it for the mediums. Oh, we got the 30B. And TDs also have a lot of hull down capabilities. We obviously got the 263 hiding its lower plate. It might not have a turret, and most of these might not have turrets, but hiding the lower plate and only showcasing the hull down armor. For example, the E3 is again a great example. Minnow, another fantastic example, Badger. So there are a lot of hull down tanks in the game, but just hiding their weak spots and only showcasing their superstructures or their strong capabilities really changes the tides of the battle. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.